Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to my unprocessed life. I am just hitting the road now to head over to Nashville for some business stuff that I got to do, some work stuff. So, I'm getting out of the house about an hour later than I wanted to, but I am on the road and headed that direction, so the momentum is with me now. So, it was a good weekend, all things considered. It was an interesting weekend, some challenges and so forth. I think last I left you, I was struggling, trying to figure some things out in regards to what I wanted to do with feeding, eating, all that kind of stuff. How do I want to continue to go down this journey, this food journey, this life journey, this healing journey? How do I want to continue in my unprocessed life? And so that's been a little bit of a challenge trying to figure out, because there have been some hurdles in the way and so forth. Yesterday was a good day. I haven't figured it out yet completely, but I have some ideas, so I'm sure we'll flesh those out. I'm on my way to Nashville, which means I have about 3 hours worth of drive in front of me. So I'll probably... There's a possibility there may be several videos for today, depending on thought processes that cross my brain as time goes on. Anyway, so yesterday was a pretty good day. Got up and had some orange pineapple juice. Had a fresh pineapple that we cut up, and we had some fresh oranges that I got at the farmer's market the day before. You can see those, of course, over on Instagram, along with the other produce that I got. And I had 4 cups of orange pineapple juice for breakfast, and then about half cup of pineapple chunks that my son wasn't really up for, so I ended up eating those. And that's what I had until about lunchtime. Then at lunchtime, we went ahead and had some more zucchini hummus with all of the veggies that we had. I had like 1/2, maybe 3/4 of a cucumber left that had already been sliced up, and then I also had some tomatoes, and I sliced up, I don't know, 5 or 6 tomatoes that I could go ahead and put in there. And then we had some pita bread left from the night before. See, the night before we were in town, and the family went to a Mediterranean place, so we had some pita bread left over, and so I had a couple slices of pita bread with the hummus. And then for dinner, we had some quinoa bowls. Stark Raving Raw made some quinoa, and we had some romaine lettuce and tomatoes and mango, and mixed that all together with some pickled jalapeno slices, and had a couple bowls of that. I also started using Chronometer yesterday for the first time. I've never played with that app before, and so this was interesting. A little bit of a learning curve for me to try to figure out, how to put everything in. And really, it's interesting. There are a lot of things that it doesn't have that I would think that it would have had, but it didn't. And then there's a lot of, I'm gonna have to watch some videos. Of course, lucky me, my internet connectivity was broken yesterday. Thanks, Windstream. I have a constant battle with my internet provider. I live kind of out in the middle of nowhere, which is wonderful, except for because I do, Windstream doesn't care much about me, because I don't have a lot of people around me, and there's not a whole lot of money to be made. So I actually pay 3 times as much for my DSL as the other folks around me, just a few miles away, and they get 3 times or 4 times the internet connectivity speed that I get, because well, I'm just not important enough, because there aren't enough people around to make enough money to make it worth investing anything in. And so I have to use old existing lines, etc., etc. And it's a real frustration. That's a real problem here in America, by the way, is that, ISPs actually don't want any competition, so they sue the living daylights out of new competition, so the customers fail. It's amazing that we have all the technology here in the United States, but we have some of the worst connectivity for rural areas. And it really shouldn't be that way, you know. Anyway, that's a whole nother deal. But because of that, this is actually a pretty common occurrence that happens with my connectivity. It just goes out. And I know, being that I'm an IT guy, I know kind of what's going wrong. And I call into the help desk and they're like, oh, well, have you tried this? I'm like, yes, I've already done all that. Okay, well, maybe your password's wrong. Really? So then, of course, they, oh, we're going to send it to our provisioning team, but they'll give you a call back in 24 hours or less. As soon as it starts working, they'll call you. I'm still waiting for that call, by the way, and I was able to fix it by unplugging my router for an extended period of time, about an hour, while their stuff tried to, you know, work through, and then plugged it back in. Oh, hey, look, it's all good again. Anyway, that's a completely different rant. But because of that, you know, I didn't have any internet connectivity other than my cell phones and hotspots and things like that. And with those, you know, then some of the things that you would normally look up and try to, you can't really do as well because you're only working on your phone and all that. But it was a successful day. When I looked at my macronutrients in my chronometer, I had, ironically enough, exactly 80-10-10 in my macronutrients. My wife was like, even when I was trying to do that, I couldn't get it right. And I was pretty right on with it. It was kind of funny. But it looks like it'd be a really useful tool, so I'm excited about the possibility of being able to use Chronometer to track everything. So that's the plan. I know that I'm going to be way off this week because I'm going to be traveling, and I'm not going to be doing the 80-10-10 or the low-fat raw vegan this week, just because of the challenges that will present. It's not really a good excuse per se, but I'm still going to stay true to my philosophy, which is to try to be as unprocessed as I can. I'm still going to try to hit as much, you know, real world raw as I can, as many salads and fruits and vegetables and things like that. And even if they're cooked, I'm still going to try to go with as much plant-based whole food as I can throughout this week. I watched some interesting stuff from a YouTuber called Unnatural Vegan, and she's got some interesting stuff. And actually, a lot of her stuff is kind of what derailed my thought processes. And she makes a lot of sense because she tries to meld, you know, being healthy and vegan with science and so forth. I'm not sure that I agree with her philosophies. Her philosophy appears to be, from what I can tell, that being a vegan is a good thing because it causes less suffering in the world. So technically she'd be an ethical vegan. She doesn't seem to believe anymore that it's a healthier lifestyle, just that it is a less painful lifestyle for the planet and for animals, which is fine. That's true, but I also think it's a healthier lifestyle. I don't think that, I think she interprets the and again, like me, she's not a doctor. She's just drawing her take from the information from other doctors and other nutritionists and things like that. And she's done a lot of research, and it's hard to fault her for some of her conclusions. Absolutely. And it's given me a lot of food for thought, and I'm thankful for that. You know, one of the things I really liked about what she had to say is that she's got a lot of followers, and she's got a lot of response videos back and forth between some heavy hitters like Happy Healthy Vegan and some others. And she used to be 100% raw herself, and so she transitioned out of that lifestyle after being in it for a while. So she has a really, really good take. In fact, I think she authored like 3 raw food cookbook or lifestyle books. So she's got a really interesting perspective on it. Somebody coming from you know, from the fully raw lifestyle into a more traditional vegan lifestyle. one of the nice things about her channel and her videos is her ability to say when she's wrong. You know, if you are able to prove her wrong, she admits it. For her, it's not an emotional issue. It doesn't seem to be an emotional argument as much as more of a philosophical argument, or arguments that she has back and forth with other vegans and YouTubers and so forth. And I think that's great, and I really, really respect that, because that's always been my take, is, you know, if you can give me an argument that that beats my argument, if your argument's better, if your information's better, then I have to look at that and say, okay, wait a minute, you know, my argument's not right, my take on it's not right. I have to look at this, and that's awesome. That's really awesome, because that type of debate and dialogue is what helps us all grow. And even so, we can agree to disagree on things and still be getting better at what we're trying to do. And that's something that I really like. Now, you know, there are some challenges there when it comes to different philosophies of eating and diet and so forth. And that's, you know, something that some of us struggle with. I mean, obviously I struggle with it, and it's an important piece to figure out. So you should check her stuff out. It's interesting. I would hope that it wouldn't derail you in whatever you're going towards. If you're an 80-10-10 person and that works for you, you know, that's great. But, you know, sometimes, see, the thing about eating is that, and we've talked about this before, is that it is pretty much a religion, because everything revolves around it. Everything does. And because of that, it makes it hard to have different viewpoints without people just attacking you for them. So, you know, if 80-10-10 works for you, or a raw till 4 works for you, or something like that, and you feel good about it and you feel healthy, and you're making some good changes, or if you're doing the Starch solution and so forth, I would encourage you not to let a different point of view derail you from where you're headed. But I would say that it's important to listen to different viewpoints to try to see if there is information in them that you can bring to yourself that will help you. Just try not to let it overwhelm you, because there is a paralysis by analysis that happens, and it's hard to get things done when you're stuck in that particular mindset. So, that being said, I've started to pay a little bit closer attention to my calories, much to the chagrin of my wife. You know, her take on it at the moment is, if you will just try to go ahead and follow the healthy eating, the rest of it will come naturally. And for the most part, I agree with her on that. But I do eat a lot of food. I have for as long as I can remember, and I don't exercise very much, which is something that I'm going to try to remedy when I'm in Nashville. I'm going to try to start working out every day at this gym on site, etc., etc. So that is a step that I want to be taking, but that alone is not enough. And you know, I think it's nice. One of the sayings that I've always liked is, you know, abs are built in the gym, but they're revealed in the kitchen. So I know that, you know, even when I was working out, and I was much thinner than I am now, I was working out at a gym every day and doing Body for Life stuff. You know, that's what the trainers told me. He's like, you know, keep working out, keep doing your stuff, but the weight loss is going to be based on what you eat. It's going to be on your diet. So keep eating right, and eventually everything will happen. So that is an interesting point of view. And it seems to be an accepted one as well. Not that I really care what people accept or don't accept when it comes to decisions that I want to make. So I've been thinking a lot about this, and a lot about the different philosophies. You know, you have the the starch solution philosophy, which is basically little or no fat and lots of starches, little fruit, no fruit, lots of starches, and you'll lose weight and things will come into line. You have the 80-10 philosophy, 80-10-10 philosophy, low fat raw or low fat raw vegan, where 80% of your calories come from fruit, 10% come from nuts and seeds, and 10% comes from protein, right? Yeah. That's another philosophy. Then you have the caloric philosophy, which is, hey, if you keep your calories under this, you'll definitely lose weight. And of course, I always set out saying that losing weight wasn't the key factor for me as much as getting healthy, and they kind of go hand in hand though. So I know that that's an important thing to work towards, is losing weight. Then there was something else that my wife said yesterday, which I thought was really interesting. She reminded me that years ago, literally, we were talking about diet before we had started to do any kind of research on it. I had said something to the effect of, well, we really just need to eat more fruits and vegetables. We need to eat more vegetables, specifically more greens and things like that, because they have such a low caloric amount, and that will help us lose weight, because then we'll be able to eat lots and lots of things, but we won't be having lots and lots of calories. So we should stay satiated and so forth. And I kind of forgot that I'd said that, and I kind of went off of that because for a while we had, when we started looking into different alternative lifestyles in regards to food and health, fruit became a really big piece of that. And there are some statements out there perpetuated by the raw food community in regards to, eat as much fruit as you want, and everything will come in order naturally. And that may be true for some people. And I've also noticed that people work very differently. I can eat the same diet as my wife and have different results, because honestly, I believe it has a lot to do with our genetic makeup and our microbiome and things that we've been exposed to throughout our lives. But that was something that my wife reminded me about last night. She said, you said at the very beginning of this, before we even started looking at different things, was eat more greens. And when you look at it, that's good for everything. It's, the more greens you have, the better, the more minerals you have, the more you feed your microbiome, the healthier you'll get. She said, really, Elliot, before we got into all of this, you pretty much hit the nail on the head, saying, hey, it's just a matter of eating more greens and eating lots of greens. And I thought that was interesting, and that's definitely something that I'm going to have to consider going forward. That maybe I was right initially with my gut feeling, which was, greens are king. And maybe it's just a matter of trying to figure out how to get as many greens into your diet as you possibly can. And then if you have to have something else, you do. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see. Anyway, well, I'm going to stop up here for a restroom break, because I did have 5 cups of orange juice this morning. So I'm going to end this video. I may be back after a while, or I'll be back this evening, one of the two. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I know you don't have to. There are lots and lots of things that you can go out and watch, and lots of entertainment out there, so I appreciate the time you spend with me. I love spending time with you. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. You can find me over on Instagram. At Instagram, of course, I post pictures of all the food that I eat throughout the day, as long as I don't forget. Sometimes I do. So you can see everything that I talk about there, all, the fresh juices and the quinoa bowls, and I think I forgot my hummus picture yesterday, but pretty much everything I eat is going to be on Instagram. You can find me there at myunprocessed.life. Of course, you can reach out to me on email as well, myunprocessedlife@gmail.com. And And so until next time, thank you again for spending time with me. I love spending time with you. You have a great day, and I will talk to you again real soon.